Hey guys, I'm Dov, and today I'm back with more Total War Warhammer 2 multiplayer action. Today we're going to be doing another tactics-focused video, and today we're going to be talking about charging and counter-charging here. So I'm up against Hadriz, it's definitely a very strong player, and we've got High Elves versus Empire. Both of us have shock cavalry-oriented builds, well, to a degree. Mine is definitely a wagon train. Got Volkmar as the caboose, I guess, or he'd honestly be the holy steam engine up at front. And we got a steam tank here, a couple war wagons, demis, Empire Knights, and veteran state troop infantry with a Jade Wizard, of course. As for Hadriz' build here, he's got a whole bunch of Rangers, Imric on the ground leading the way with two Dragon Princes there, another Dragon Prince here, an Archer, and I believe there's some Illyrian Reavers over on the side there, yep. Along with Lore of Life and Lore of Metal, just Plague of Rust there, and just Earthblood on the Life Mage. So yeah, again, the idea here is charging and counter-charging, right? So I already got a quick hit-and-run attack on these Rangers, and I'm able to pull these Dragon Princes out and away from their formation. They're going to try and get in on these War Wagons here, but Volkmar is able to kind of mass block them somewhat, and then these Demis come in all juiced up with Faith, and this is exactly what I mean by counter-charge, right? With units with high charge bonus, like Demigryph Knights have decent charge bonus, the Lance 160, mainly rely on their armor-piercing damage, but Dragon Princes, of course, with 80 charge bonus, very much reliant. So, more than anything, I want my Demigryph Knights to not get charged by the Dragon Princes. That's kind of priority number one, right? So the Empire Knights are largely going to be used as a blocking force here, but if I can get them to countercharge Dragon Princes, that will be nice as well. Hadriz sweeping over on the side here with these other Dragon Princes. Able to block some of them with the spears there, but the Reavers also coming in and just escalating this fight very significantly. But the two Reavers that were supporting this fight got hammered by Empire Knights. Those Dragon Princes getting terrified away by Volkmar while the Dragonhorn's active. The rest of these Elves making a big push in here, going after the War Wagons. Meanwhile, the Demigryph Knights have got this Phoenix on a bit of a surround here, and now I'm going to switch them out with the Empire Knights. Phoenix, the Fire Phoenix, doesn't have a whole lot of armor, only 30 armor, so the Empire Knights actually can trade pretty decently there once they've got a charge. Shield of Thorns being used. In my opinion, I like Shield of Thorns a little bit better than Earthblood because it can hit more units. Basically gives you the same effect, right? More effective HP versus the appropriate targets, and given that High Elves don't have a ton of magic damage, all these units here actually do physical damage, right? So that Shield of Thorns will be very, very nice. Phoenix gets routed off, and we should be able to push it off with these War Wagons. I think this one's going to come back from rout, but had taken quite a bit of damage from those Dragon Prince charges. Now, again, we've got this big escalated engagement in the center. The Steam Tank is just providing some, again, more mass in here to keep blocking. Demigryph Knights have taken a bit of damage. I still have quite a few unit models on them, though, so I'm going to pull them back. 22 unit models with an Overcast regrowth should be able to get their health quite high again, just about up to full. But the Empire Knights are kind of being sacrificed here in recompense. Nice Earthblood on the Dragon Princes. They have taken some damage, but definitely still some online over here. My state troops are kind of doing okay, bit of a mixed bag. Volkmar trying to ping-pong around and support whatever engagements he can. But yeah, you can see maybe a little bit of overkill on the Overcast regrowth. Actually, no, still healing him and just now stops, so just a tiny bit of overhealing. But definitely a lot of healing being done. Those Demigryph Knights basically back up to full, fresh vigor as well, so now can countercharge in here. Along with these few Empire Knights, there are a ton of Dragon Princes here, and they do get a Plague of Rust as well. Just a regular Plague of Rust, taking them down to 95 armor, but here comes Volkmar with the supporting buffs. We've also got that Shield of Thorns active. Soulfire doesn't do a whole lot to Dragon Princes because of their armor, and another heal being tossed in there, but those Demigryph Knights, man, up to 26 kills, basically all of them being Dragon Princes, and they've got 2 XP chevrons. That's quite good stuff, and all the time, these two War Wagons here, the two returned after having chased off the Phoenix, and are just providing some nice side shots into these Dragon Princes, as the Demigryph Knights and Volkmar now pull away, again, trying to keep that charge bonus going as much as possible, and not get charged by the Dragon Princes. So here we go, these tattered Empire Knights coming back. Again, just blocking these Dragon Princes and allowing the Demigryph Knights to countercharge in here is enough. And here come the Demigryph Knights. Hadriz is also doing as best he can to keep these Dragon Princes cycling in and out. You'll see them kind of ping-ponging away. This group able to find my War Wagons, get them somewhat separated. They do drop a few models on that volley there, but They will take quite a bit of damage on that charge. Again, just because of the high charge bonus of those Dragon Princes. Things are looking somewhat in my favor at this point, but definitely still pretty close. Imric's running around somewhere. Here, actually, going after the Steam Tank. There's quite a few Elven infantry left, these 2 casters as well, so we'll see. Steam Tank doing pretty well. Imric has mostly been targeting Volkmar this entire time, and Volkmar definitely feels that. He's got some cap space left on healing, but not too much. Demigryph Knights, though, again, that Shield of Thorns does give them a little bit more weapon damage. They don't have a whole lot of non-AP damage, right? But it still does help somewhat. And that's kind of another reason why I prefer it over Earthblood. In most situations, against factions with a lot of magic damage, it may be more worth it to just take Earthblood instead. But I definitely am a big fan of that. Shield of Thorns, Dragon Princes getting shot by the War Wagons as the War Wagons pull away there. Again, these Demigryph Knights, 9 models left, just barely holding their leadership together. They are going to be critical here. Countercharging in, routing off these Dragon Princes. Trying to get Volkmar out of here, honestly. He is just getting wrecked by Imric. Gonna see if this Soulfire will bombard them, but it looks like they got terrified there. That does actually drop a couple models and allows him to spring loose from Imric. The Demigryph Knights kind of following right behind. We're gonna have them, again, countercharge against Imric once they get that Hammer of Sigmar. He's going to finish them off here. Ooh, drops 1 right there. But he is taking quite a bit of damage in return, not only from their attacks, also from those War Wagons up on the hill. He does finish off their leadership, though, once again. Those Demigryph Knights routing away. Only 5 models left now. And these Rangers are doing a great job cleaning up my veteran state troops. Originally, the fight had been pretty even, but now these Rangers definitely telling in the late game. Volkmar is going to try and come in and bail them out. Terror hopefully will kick in, but it looks like those Rangers will hold their leadership. The Dragonhorn active up to 52 melee attacks, so despite the veterancy on these Spearmen, they're still just going to be absolutely shredded, but you can see the Steam Tank still taking pot shots at Imric. The fact that the Steam Tank is still so healthy is very critical for me. I definitely need to try and play off of that in the late game. Likewise, these War Wagons are starting to run out of ammunition. I'm going to go ahead and throw a regrowth on this one. Mostly just because I don't think I can get this guy in regrowth range of the Steam Tank, and it didn't lose a whole lot of HP left. The Vigor Refresh would be really nice on the Steam Tank right now, but this War Wagon still has a little bit of ammunition left. I can restore quite a bit of HP as well, and try and use them as chariots, but you can see Volkmar just got taken out there by Imric. I was trying to screen with the Steam Tank, but didn't quite screen out in time, so Volkmar falls. Now I've only got this Steam Tank to play off of, and the balance of power has swung back towards even, if not slightly in Hadra's favor, probably about dead even though. But this War Wagon with a bit of ammunition, going to use the last of their shots, shooting at Imric while the other War Wagons block these Dragon Princes and Archers from charging. Definitely going to be a painful experience for them, but thankfully there's only like 5 Dragon Princes left, so it'll only be mildly painful. Friendly firing a little bit on the Steam Tank, that's, you know, fine, but it does lead to Imric finally getting routed away there. The War Wagons carrying super hard. Just about got an XP Chevron on this unit. This unit, I believe, has 2 XP Chevrons already. That's decent, definitely. So now at this point, it's all down to the wagon train. The War Wagons and the Steam Tank. That Life Mage just getting literally run over by a Steam Tank. Ooh, and then punted right up the hill. Very nice. Got some Archers now out of ammo charging in from behind. So my idea here is once we've got Imric finished off, he probably is going to come back at this point. Yep, actually does come back with 100 HP left, and we're out of ammo now on all the War Wagons, so we're going to have to use them in melee. Charge them over here to these Archers, and try and use the Steam Tank to side and rear charge as much as possible to proc terror routes. So that's really my only chance of winning here. As low of melee defense as the Steam Tank has, in sustained combat, it might eventually lose to these 2 mages here, just because it's 2 single entities on 1. Even though they don't do that much armor-piercing damage, just over time, they could do consistent damage to the Steam Tank, but pulling away here, you can see the War Wagons getting a nice blob of Rangers and Archers formed. So the Steam Tank can scythe around the side, go ahead and plow in here and proc that terror route, just cutting through like butter the High Elf Infantry here. There are a handful of Reavers to try and pin in the Steam Tank, but I'm going to try and keep it away from them as much as possible. It's kind of circling around the edge of this formation as the War Wagons literally just stand there. I don't know, but I guess the horses are doing attack animations. I don't really know. It'd be kind of cool if the dude standing in the back would, like, swing. Some of them have these little bayonets, right? It'd be cool if they would swing those bayonets down at the elves, but again, the steam tank, Imric comes back, I countercharge him with the steam tank, and he immediately gets terror routed and then pushed away by the steam tank, and then pushed off his horse. So sad day for Imric. He falls here. That is going to set things pretty well in my favor, so only slightly, actually, considering the two mages here. The war wagons are still just holding the ground here. Holding this hill. But this big rear charge here should proc a terror route. I directly charge the mages because the steam tank has such a high charge bonus. 80 charge bonus again on this thing. It actually can do quite a bit of damage on the charge, so yeah, a really great game to Hadriz, honestly. That was right down to the wire, and the fact that the steam tank was still alive and, you know, the war wagons did quite a bit of work as well. Like, it was a super, super close game. Definitely could have gone either way, but from my perspective, like, just, again, in certain matchups, especially matchups that have a lot of high charge units, you often run into a lot of cat and mouse, right, with players kind of trying to bait each other out on flanks or to charge into infantry. You always want to make sure you get the good engagement, right? And so whether you have, like, bait units, you know, out on the side, whether you do, like I did, do a quick hit and run if you see an area that's exposed, try and draw a unit out. You know, with skirmish cavalry, often you can try and draw units out of position and then, you know, hit them from multiple angles. Basically, what I want you to take away from this is that in these matchups, or against factions that have a lot of high charge units, you want to make sure you don't take that charge on your expensive units, right? You want to make sure if you're going to eat a charge, make sure it's on something cheap as much as possible. Yeah, so hopefully you guys took something away from this. Again, super, super good game to Hadriz. Yeah, that's it for me for today. If you like this sort of content, be sure to like, subscribe, hit that bell notification button, so every time I upload a new video, you'll be notified. Thanks again for watching, and we'll see you next time.